call Paula Dixson.
Ms. French, I'm going to read the jury an instruction once Ms. Dixon is sworn in.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Ms. Dixon, good morning to you, ma'am. Just come over here to your right. Watch yourself as you come forth. If you need a glass of water or something, let us know. We're able to certainly get you a glass of water. You can adjust the microphone as you deem necessary, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Members of the jury, I mentioned this to you in my preliminary instructions to you. I'm going to read it again, given the witness. The state's now going to present in victim impact evidence to you. Such evidence is only presented to demonstrate the victim's uniqueness as an individual and the loss to the community by the victim's death. However, victim impact evidence must not be considered by you as an aggravating factor. Ms. French, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Paula Dixson.
And spell your last name, please.
Dixson.
And ma'am, are you related to IS?
Yes, I am.
And how?
I'm her aunt.
And are you Kim Mobley's sister?
Yes.
And Ms. Dixon, did you provide a victim impact evidence statement?
Yes, I did.
And would you please read verbatim your victim impact statement, ma'am? And take your time.
Absolutely. Your Honorable Court, my name is Paula Dixon, and to the family it was no secret that I was Ayanna Sawyer's favorite aunt. I remember the day she was born like it was yesterday. I received a call advising me that my sister had gone into labor. My husband and I gathered our children and met my mom and sister at the hospital. After hours of labor, Ayanna Michelle Sawyer made her grand entrance into the world, and it was love at first sight. My Princess Yana Boo was the perfect baby. Her smile was so contagious. This was my sister's first child, so she did everything by the book. I literally watched her embrace her new role as a mother. We had our first birthday party at my house, which I will never forget. I said, Yaya, what do you want to eat? She pointed to the plate and said, beans. We pulled out the smash cake, and she sat on my lap as I fed her. My sister came up with the bright idea to push her face in the cake, which I simply refused to do. Instead, I took her hand and stuck it in the cake. She turned to me, held out her hand, and said, it's dirty. It tickled me something serious. Shortly thereafter, Maya was born. My sister couldn't wait for her daughters to finally meet. My two nieces were inseparable from that moment on. My mother raised us to always be there for your sisters, and I can see that my sister was ensuring that our next generation would do the same. In years to come, she would gain two additional brothers. Being the oldest, she became a natural-born leader. She would teach her younger siblings how to read, write, do math, and a plethora of other things. She utilized the leadership skills that she gained at home to pursue other endeavors at school. She was an honor roll student, a crossing guard, and a great friend, to name a few things. She was the definition of, if I can believe it, I can achieve it. She never let a challenge stop her because she knew she could do or be anything she put her mind to. At an early age, we saw that she strived to be the very best and that she always wanted to be a top performer. As a family, we encouraged her to never settle for less because we knew she was destined for greatness. She began receiving scholarships when she was in elementary school, and by the time she entered middle school, she was in honors classes. She began doing extracurricular activities such as playing the violin and joining the step team. As she entered high school, she began taking college courses and was on track to graduate early. She loved to dance and had the craziest sense of humor. One time she called out to one of her brothers telling him that she needed help. He came running in to see what was wrong, and as soon as he hit the kitchen floor, boom, he slipped and fell on the dishwashing liquor that she put all over the floor. She got a good laugh off of that one. This is just one of the many jokes she played on her siblings. She was the best big sister and very big on family. She was truly her mom's little mini-me. Her siblings looked up to her. As time went on, she became a big cousin. The babies just loved her. My nephew was so crazy about her. One time she was sitting at the top of the stairs, and he began climbing up the stairs to get to her. He made it about halfway and said, "Ya." I guess it made her heart melt because when she went down the stairs to pick him up, she was such a diva and a true fashionista. I started getting her lotions and fragrances from Victoria's Secrets, and she immediately fell in love with the pink line. She knew that for her birthdays and Christmas, she was getting something pertaining to pink. The smile on her face when she opened her gifts was priceless. She loved to eat. We would have family gatherings regularly, from seafood Saturday to Sunday dinner. Thanksgiving was one of her favorite holidays. I started a tradition letting the kids spend the night so they could help prepare the meal. She loved being around family. Her smile lit up any room that she entered, and she was such a joy to be around. She was our princess, and she wore the title well. As time passed, we received shocking news that she was pregnant. I was so excited to be a great aunt, and I could not wait to find out what she was having. It was almost Christmas time, so I made a big Sunday dinner, and everyone came to my house to paint nutcrackers. I guess the baby liked the greens because she started moving around, and I said, "Uh-oh, the baby's gonna like my cooking." Never in a million years did I imagine this would be the last time that I saw her. The following Wednesday, I received word that she didn't come home from school. I can never put into words the feeling of panic that came over me. From that moment on, our lives would never be the same. We called and texted her for weeks with no response. After a while, we received the news that no one wanted to hear. She was gone and never coming back. We had to tell our children that she was gone while holding back our tears as we wiped theirs away. My poor sister had to keep herself together because she had 3 other kids looking to her for comfort. Their sister was gone. I can only imagine how my niece felt having to look at an empty bed day in and day out. My poor nephew struggled to cope with the fact that she was never coming back. I watched my sister stand still for almost 5 years. Her baby and grandbaby were gone without a trace. All the sleepless nights, the tears, the pain of not being able to give them a proper home going. The family dysfunction. This tore our family apart. I had to sit back and watch my sister try to make it from one second to the next. There were no words of comfort we could offer. All we could do was be there. I had to take time off from work to try to get my mind right. Sometimes all I could do was cry. I had to hold on to my faith because that was my baby. I will never forget the many nights that I had to comfort my child. We were at an all-time low. I watched my family completely fall apart over the years. There were so many ups and downs. This loss left a hole in our hearts that can never be filled. How do we move forward as a family? We kept our faith and awaited our day in court. I sat in the courtroom every day and watched my family testify one by one. My heart broke all over again. It was not all for nothing. Justice was served. But how do we pick up the pieces knowing what we know now? We will never truly heal. How can we? Grace and mercy has carried us thus far, and we must hold on to his word. There are so many things we will never be able to do. We will never be able to meet Hazel, never get to see our princess as a mother. We will never see her go off to college. We will never see her get married. We will never see how great she would have truly been. we will never get to see her live. Now we are left with memories, a bunch of what ifs. We must live the remainder of our lives with a bunch of regrets, because we can never turn back the hands of time. We must live with a constant reminder that our princess is gone. We must live with the guilt of knowing that even though we were our sister's keeper, she is no longer with us. That's a burden I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. We must now figure out how to proceed as a family going forward. How do we heal? How do we trust? How do we live given all that we've learned? The only answer I could come up with is by the grace of God. I know that my God is a faithful God. He will never leave us or forsake us, and he will never put more on us than we can bear. Justice is just the beginning of our healing process. We must now learn how to live with the unimaginable loss that we have suffered. I know our princess is still with us every time we see a rainbow, pink skies, or a red cardinal. We know she is there. I thank God for the 16 years that he allowed us to be in her presence. The world will never know how great she really was or could have been. She will live in our hearts forever. I like to think of her as an angel that my God called home. He needed her more than we did. The flesh wants us to hold on forever, but that's human nature. To my Yana boo, I love you unconditionally. You will take it from us too soon, but we will continue to honor your memory until we meet again. You are loved, and we miss you so much. If he brings you to it, he will bring you through it. I love you unconditionally. I don't know how, but we will get through this. Long live Princess Yaya and Princess Hazel. Thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
I can go?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.